Welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Call with your host, Kerry, managing broker at Remax Elite, and Heather Holiday, your social marketing nut, talking about hottest real estate topics with a little weekly activity and motivation for the week. Well, good morning.
Good morning. I was just thinking, I never have my sound on my phone. I must have turned it on last night or something. And so now it's jingle jangling. And I'm like, oh, let me turn this off before we get started. Good morning. Happy Monday. How are you?
Oh my gosh. And it feels like it's been forever. And all we did was take off 1 week.
I know.
1 week, and it feels like, I don't know, it feels like Christmas break or whatever. I don't know. It just feels like it's been
Well,
forever.
so what's funny or not funny, I'll say this. So my friend Jamie Columbus had commented that he loves our Monday morning wake up calls, if you remember. And I said, oh, he's probably ribbing me a little bit because he's a little bit of a jokester and whatever. And I had to go down to South Florida to a funeral for a college friend's mother, and Jamie's wife, who's my college friend, was also at the funeral. And so we started talking about the Monday morning wake up call, and she said he was actually disappointed that you guys weren't on Memorial Day Monday.
Well, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, and it's so in talking to all those people down in South Florida that I was visiting with, college friends after college friends, many of them are not back to work in the office. And Jamie specifically went, I think his first day back in the office was Wednesday or Thursday, and he was the only one there. Like, everybody is loving this work at home thing.
But then you miss that whole, like, the water cooler or just
the camaraderie.
Yeah, I mean, I miss that.
Yeah.
Like nobody's business. I mean, that is probably the hardest part, on top of just the past year in general.
Right.
I mean, I definitely think of myself as, I get more done, at home than
Right.
I do in the office. So even when I was there and going into the office every day, my work really got done from 6 to 8. And then it was off to the office.
And then there's the whole camaraderie, water cooler, chit chat. People are stopping by. I know.
Popping in, which was I loved. But I knew, like, I'm not really going to actually get work done because of the constant distractions. But I loved that as well. So, I mean, it's different.
Yeah,
it's different.
It is different. It is different. And so that sort of segues into what we're talking about today, which is growing your business and building influence within your community. So now, are we getting it back out there within our community and being able to network with people and work with people, or is a lot of this still virtual?
I mean, I see events are finally starting to happen again. I definitely see, almost like our new normal is slowly happening. I know up here, and I think Tennessee is very similar to, like, Florida. So that's been really nice to be able to go out, and I'm sure just like, you do the Pineda, is we have all these tiki bars. I live, right next to Tennessee River. So it's tons, you've got the music on the water and the boats, and the channel is so busy with boats coming in and out. And it's just amazing to see all that again.
Right.
And for us, actually got to see it because, by the time
you moved there, and then it was winter, and then it was COVID. Yeah,
right. Sure. Because it's a seasonal thing up here. It's not like Florida where it's, year round. So by the time Leo got up here in October, it was winter, and then, the world ended. So,
and we're doing our first in-person happy hour sponsored by Prestige Title. So we're so excited to see our friends from Prestige Title. And
I got to see them. I got to camp with them. So
I know, I saw them, which was awesome.
That was awesome. And
then we'll have, the agents with the office, and we'll be checking out the new Hotel Melby. So that's exciting because I haven't been there.
I've only seen tons of pictures.
Yeah, I was at Matt's Casbah the other night, and we saw it from there. I hadn't been to Matt's Casbah in a couple of years, so that was nice. And
no, I'm jealous. I'm super jealous. I was trying to figure out how can I get down there, but at least I had 3 nights of happy hour with Prestige and a lot of people, so that was
very
that
cool.
was good.
So here we go. What are we doing to get involved in your community in a manner that helps you to build influence and to help you grow your business? And so when you decide to do this, make sure that your intent and purpose is a true one and a one of service or serving. You're not doing it. If you're doing it just to get business, it's going to come off as not genuine.
Right. No, I think you have to be authentic. And I know that we kind of mentioned this before. It has to be something that's personal to you, because then it's meaningful, and it'll be just an authentic relationship when everybody cares about the same and not coming at it from just trying to get business. Because I know one of the biggest topics right now is how do you get more listings? It's like a crazy market right now, but I think those that have built these connections and been involved in the community itself, you already have that know, like, and trust from others that are have similar interests, whether it be different groups or, I know down there every Sunday was, like a poker run with, the Harleys and stuff like that. So it was just, I didn't join the group for business purposes. I joined it because it was something that we enjoyed doing.
Right.
So it's like we enjoy, the A-bait, all of this different things. So I think it has to be something that you're passionate about, because it's just like meeting people, and it's just a natural.
Well, and that's the thing, like, don't join and your first foot forward is, I'm Kerry Ramage with Remax Elite and I sell real estate. You need to join, develop the relationships, and then once they do know, like, and trust you, the referrals and will come.
I think that's a passive approach, but it's also the authentic. Otherwise you come across as being salesy, and I think people are way too smart for that anymore.
I agree. I completely agree, And so if you're listening to us this morning, just give us a thumbs up or a shout out if you are involved somehow in your community. If you want to share what community organization you're involved with, great. If you don't, I understand that too, but give us a thumbs up. Let us know you're hearing us and that you are involved in your community.
And where you're tuning in from, all that fun
that
stuff.
too. So, kind of begin if you're involved in nothing, begin kind of from the broader sense, which is civic organizations, chamber of commerce, athletic leagues. You can join Friends of the Library. There's art organizations. There's so many things. There's even the Home Builder Association, is it HBCA? I think it's called. We have a couple of agents in our office that are pretty involved in that. And what I've heard from them is there are other agents involved in it, but because they're Remax Elite, because they're there all the time and our name is pretty prominent within the community, they're getting the referrals and the leads from other people because they're involved, they're genuine, which is cool, And
I think also, I know we've, in the past, we've done a lot of golf tournaments. We've done a lot of, the running events. Those are perfect because you have the swag bags. It happens in the morning. We could have, our balloon mascot at both of those because those are early. We used to be able to do a lot of the balloon tethering events for the golf tournament because the driving range was actually a perfect setup for that hot air balloon. There's just so many different things that you can do. I know we also have a ton of, different swag. So whether the agents do it themselves or they, the office always has those stress balls and, the koozies and stuff like that. But find something that's, for your area. Get a ton of, get it in bulk. So you always have something. I know a lot of agents are involved with even the school board. So they'll have teacher meetings and then they bring in, whether they're bringing in the donuts or some, the bagels for different meetings for teachers and, fill up the swag bags. There's so many different things, but find something that is personal to you.
Well, here's what Barbara Lynn is saying. Find something that you believe in.
Yes.
And hobbies that you love, and it'll come. I like this one. A good book club, a good book club is a good one. I can't get through a book these days. My brain is just going 100 miles an hour.
And my son is crazy. Like he's got an Audible. He made me reactivate my Audible, and then he's buying more, and then he's getting the hard books. And at least now he's fine because he was always into the hard book. Like I have to have the hard book.
And now he's totally doing
right because he can listen to it while he's working and stuff like that. He's that kid. 20 years old, but all he cared about for Christmas, he gave me a list, probably $200 worth of all the books he wanted. My daughter wants like the whole sound system for her car. And then and even the guy teased when we were at Best Buy, like, oh, my parents would just buy me books. And I'm like, you know what? That's probably all my son wants is books. That's probably going to be his list.
Right.
And sure enough, he gives me the list like 2 weeks later and it's nothing but books. And I was like, I just started laughing. Like he's such a nerd. Like he loves reading, which is awesome.
Well, good. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So also, when you're getting involved, you can be the one who offers to do the videos or push out the information and kind of back to where you were talking about swag, at the risk of feeling a little cheesy when you're going to things, wear your Remax t-shirt or your Remax baseball cap. It doesn't have to be.
Me, it's the subtle.
Yeah. Well, you have your Remax t-shirt on right now. So there you go.
Yes. So it's just that subtle swag. So I don't have to say I'm in real estate, but I still get referrals. Haven't sold, my license been in the referral groups since 2006. But I'll get referrals every month. Yep. And it's just because people still associate me with a balloon. Even though I've never posted anything about a listing or anything like that, people associate me with a balloon because I have a shirt, that'll last me a month. Different, hats, my cups, just little things like that. They associate you with a balloon. They know you're in real estate. And it almost naturally brings that in conversation. It's instead of, there's that video, and it was something always an analogy is when you have an open house, you're not going to go to a cocktail party and stand up on the chair and scream that you have an open house. Nobody cares. You're at a cocktail party. It's like going in there and just handing out your business card. No, you need to create these relationships.
Yeah.
And then it just happens.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. And for me, honestly, like now that the boys are done with Boy Scouts, so I've got Gavin involved with the band. And last year I wasn't doing a lot of advertising because we had another agent in our office whose kids were in the band. And she had kind of, I don't want to say owned it because I don't think she would have cared if I actually did an ad, but I just felt like it was the right thing to do to let her. Well, her two just graduated. Congratulations to the Carson twins.
Yes.
And so now this year I was looking at the sheet on how to get involved more that way with some logo placement, etc.
That's where because the kids were always in sports. And always doing things between.
But now that they're older, like now what? Like, oh my gosh.
But now it's all about the Jeep clubs. So
exactly.
Now there's so many different clubs and all these different events that happen. And I don't know. For me, I'm like, okay, well, I've always been involved with something. I realize that. So even though I may drive myself crazy doing whatever I do for whatever charity I'm involved in, and this is a little different, but it's like I was telling my daughter there's so many, it's just nice. Like all these Jeeps come together and they have like clubs and, they'll raise money. Like the poker runs we did when we were on the motorcycles,
right?
$20 a Jeep and they're going to do a ride and it's to benefit, a family of this and that, or they'll do drive-by homes of maybe someone who like lost a child and they just had all this memorial stuff done.
And so everybody's coming together with the common interest of the Jeep, but then they're serving the community,
yes.
Right? Which is super awesome. And yeah, that's really cool.
I told my daughter, like, I just can't not be involved with something. And it's just a matter of, okay, well, I'm in a new place. I don't know anybody. What do I do? And yes, I drive myself crazy doing this kind of stuff, but it's something when you're passionate about it, it's okay. For how many years, I was doing helping with the preferred children in need. And it just grew into something we never could have imagined.
Right.
You know, it's just so good to be a part of something bigger than me.
Right. That's giving back to the community. And even with Brevard Children in Need, I mean, that's giving back specifically to the children in Brevard County. I mean, it wasn't until I believe it was it 60 Minutes that originally did that piece, and Louise saw it?
Right. So for Orlando, they did it. And then Louise
they mentioned
like, what is it for Brevard? Find out the stats. Who do I need to go to? Work with all that. You know, it just started this little, and then we did a competition that first year with trying to match with the closings, and
we did, yeah.
Prestige was like, we'll match whatever you guys raise, and I think we were able to do like $6,200 within like 4 months, just by telling our agents, and it just grew from that. But it's when it comes from a place that you're personally involved with, that you know that it's helping, it just makes a huge difference and impact in the community. And I know that's why the office, like our office itself, has always been big with community events and helping our agents. And, you know, we kind of match whatever they're
doing. If they're involved in an event, we match them, and we give them swag if they want, or they can use swag with their own name on it.
I think that's huge, because I mean, yes, we're big with the Children's Miracle Network, but we also want to make sure that the agents don't, you know, if they have something they're passionate about, we want to make sure to help them with whatever they're doing.
Right. For sure. You know, and it's hard though, because you tend to be friends with other agents, and you tend to get involved in things with other agents, and then it becomes hard. Are you at some event, and, you know, you and your friend who's had their license for, you know, now 6 months, are they trying to hone in on your network? So I always try and say, you know, try and be respectful of each other, and you know,
I mean, I think we're all different, and just I think
you're not everybody's cup of tea. You're not everybody's cup of tea. So what about, like, tell us how we can maybe even turn that into some sort of like Facebook ads or targeting ads.
I mean, groups are huge.
Yeah.
So I mean, groups have completely.
I don't mean targeting ads, but, like, you know, getting your message to where it needs to
be. I mean, I think if you're doing it on social, ads would be tacky if you're looking at a community kind of thing, unless you're doing an event.
The word targeting, like, got me all confused about what I was trying to say, and I was like, but like targeting the group, I guess, or so, you know.
Well, I mean, like you're saying ads. But I think being involved.
Yeah, I didn't really mean I said ads, and that's not what I meant. But I mean, like, so, like, you're in a Jeep group, and
I'm in almost too many Jeep groups.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm getting at. You're targeting your interest to the groups that you're in. That's what I was trying to ask.
So, and also, if there isn't a group, start one. If you see a need for something in your community, and, you know, just like when I started that referral network for, you know, Remax agents, I was just, it wasn't like I was tired of agents always. I mean, it's like the agents knew that I would probably know any. I mean, I would have agents in Texas ask me if I know someone in Jersey, and the same thing with all of my agents. Do you know someone in this area? And I'm like, I don't know why we just don't have a Facebook group, because there's a need for it.
Right.
So I started this Facebook group. I don't sell, but I just did it for the office.
Right.
It allowed to create these relationships. So then we would have meetups every year at the different events, and it blew up into something I never could have imagined.
Well, now, like at the last R4, everybody had their own button, and the button had the, you know, I mean, and that stemmed from these groups that you started.
Yes. So, I mean, it's just the little things. So, I mean, even like the tech and tools group that we have, like, there's so much technology and real estate and all these up and coming tools. There could be a complete space for us to help each other. So I created it. It doesn't exist. I'm going to create it.
And that's like, I mean, during the pandemic, Kelsey Friedrich from our office, well, it's Kelsey Nelson now, but she started the
Space Coast.
Who's like delivering food. I can't remember what the group is called, and I'm getting some feedback. I don't know if you're hearing it.
No, I don't hear anything.
Maybe I'm just the only one. She started that, you know, who's open and who's delivering.
That was great for the community and for the restaurants. to know who was, who's open, who's doing the delivery, what are they doing. And also by inviting all of these restaurants, they were able to showcase what they were doing for the community. So maybe they were doing delivery to the different hospitals or the different groups. Kids aren't in school now. So how can we help all these kids that really relied on these school lunches to eat? So I thought that was such a great idea. And I mean, if there's already that group in your community, it's not needed, help them. I mean, it's finding a space of something that you're passionate about, something that you see there could be value in, and create it. Facebook groups, I think, better than more like a page. It's super like hyper local or not.
Or
I don't
focused. Hyper
focused. Yeah, local's not really the word, but it is hyper focused, and it allows such a better quality of creating those relationships, and then find a way to take that online relationship offline. So just like, all these groups, I mean, the creative group, and we have over 21,000 members. So when we do have like the big conventions, we'll do a meetup, and it's a way. I mean, and for me, it's, not about selling real estate. It's because I don't sell real estate. It's really about making that connection and making it a positive place where we can all uplift each other. Right. But find a way to take the online offline to really hone in. And I mean, it's crazy when you've created those relationships and then you meet someone in person for the first time. Usually you don't even realize that it takes that first meeting from a handshake to a hug, because you don't even realize, wait, we've never actually met in person.
That happened to me at a Women's Council of Realtors event the other day. I was, we're getting there, we're networking, and I see a gal out of the corner of my eye, and she looks at my name tag, because again, you don't always look like what you look like on Facebook either. You know what I mean? So, and God knows
more than others.
I mean, my hair could have been a crazy mess that day. I don't even remember. And so she sees my name tag and she says, "Oh, you're Kerry Ramage. You're the broker at Remax Lee." And I said, "You're Lisa Landrip. I know exactly who you are." I said, "It's so great, to meet you in person." And I said, "And I'm super excited that you work with my friends Ellie Chan and Lindsay Sanger. I think Lindsay's great, and I think Ellie is just amazing." And then she went on to just give them kudos for how they've helped her in her career. And then I shared that with them, and I let them know. I just wanted you guys to know that I met her in person finally, which was super nice. And then she just gushed about how great you've treated her. I mean, it was just fun because it was, so when you meet some people in person for the first time, then it's a whole,
and even speaking of that, so I mean, it's like totally off real estate, but starting a group. I mean, and there's the one little group with like all these local people about the different bachelor seasons.
Oh, let me just tell you, they started the Bachelor group, and this is going back, I can't even remember how many years ago it was, but 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And I had the Bachelor season finale in my house with Ellie Chan and Deneen Caprita. And oh my God, her name went out of me. She was with the mortgage firm and now she's moved away. Oh gosh, what is her name? And they all came to my house. Like, I barely knew these women.
But it was from a group, and that's just where it is. It doesn't have to be real estate specific. It doesn't have to be community specific. It's finding something, a common interest. And this is just a group. And I would say it's all girls, but it's not, because I think we invited Leo to it.
We did invite Leo.
Because Leo... I haven't even watched the last 2 seasons, but Leo.
No, and I'm not excited about the new season. I was going to post in that group and say who's watching this season. But yes, that's a perfect example of what we're talking about. It doesn't have
to be, I mean, just like the Jeep thing isn't, but it's it's just finding there's
common interests.
Yes.
Common interests. Barbara also mentioned a book club or a bowling club,
Yes.
I'm not a great bowler, but hey, it's something to do, and it's something different from the norm,
Just finding something that you enjoy. I mean, that's really the biggest thing. And everybody's like, how do I get listings? Well, it's about building. Yes, you can. It's so much easier to gain business from somebody who already knows, likes, and trusts you.
Exactly.
So, trying to go out and send postcards or door knock or whatever, cold calling, if you build these connections from these common interests, it's so much easier to get referral business from people who already, that you have things in common with. And for me, like social wise, groups are a huge factor in that and has been a complete game changer for myself.
Yeah.
And I think it's way more powerful than anybody could ever imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's I lost my train of thought. Dang it. I'm getting old.
Right. So just extending your reach by supporting other local causes.
That's what I was going to say. And you don't always have to be hitting them over the head with that you've sold 32 homes this month or whatever. Especially in say the Facebook realm, I got to learn Instagram better. And then somebody asked me if I was doing TikTok the other day. I'm like, I can barely learn Instagram. I sound like I've officially become my mother. My
husband Leo did a TikTok video that went viral.
Did it?
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. And then on the plane, because Leo has his favorite shirt is I'd rather be on TikTok because that's all he does.
Oh God.
And it was funny. So we start talking to this lady. She's local. She's our age. And then we just started talking about daughters. And I was like, oh my gosh, he just did a video and it kind of went viral. And we started explaining what the video was. And she was like, oh my gosh, I know that video. And I liked it. I kept watching it over and over.
Oh my gosh,
and
really?
Then she almost gives him a hug like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be sitting next to someone who's TikTok famous.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. So what I was saying was, you started this group, just say a Jeep group, but they're also now friends with you on Facebook. So they're seeing your day-to-day life, which shouldn't, as we've said a million times, be real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate, real estate. It should be personal, 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 real estate, personal, 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 real estate.
I do like an 80-20, and it's like be personal, be professional, be positive.
And so then they start to really make the connection. And when you run into them in person or you're at an event, they're going to ask you how the market is. They're going to think of you when it's time to list or buy. I'm getting ready to, I was doing a final walkthrough before I came here, and I have the buyer on that transaction. And actually when I'm done, I'm going to a closing where I have the seller, but I was talking to the listing agent and I said, well, we both were like, oh, this is a great transaction. It was nice working with you. I hope we get to work with each other again soon. And I said, if anybody can get listings, because we need people to start selling. And he said, oh, that's a conversation for a different day. Because the market, as we all know, we've talked about many times, is, it's below 1 month of inventory. So getting the listings is important now, and so if you can do it through your personal connections that you're making through the community, and you're becoming like a community influencer, that's awesome. That's I don't want to say that's the easiest way, because it's not easy, but it's not, you're not dumping money into it to get, that's where my train of thought was going. But I said I forgot. Woo, squirrel. Okay. So that's where, getting the cold leads, the leads that you don't know because you're doing postcards or whatever else. It's so much easier to work within the network of who you do know, because again, it just comes down to the know, like, and trust.
Absolutely. And just like we were saying, like schools and stuff. To me, the advertisements that you do should be in that space. So like when my kids were in cheerleading and football and baseball, those were the spaces that I would run ads, just because they already knew me because, I'm team mom or doing this and that. And the same thing at the schools, like the bus loop, like if you're involved with something, that would be a perfect space to help them and get banners or advertising.
Well, I used to have a sign and a banner at Suntree Elementary in the car loop, and then friends would take the picture and send it to me while they were in the car loop. That's kind of what I was trying to tie in all together. Crazy. But, anyway.
What is our weekly?
Well, it's funny because we say this a lot. Note cards. Write a note card to 5 people, letting them know you're thinking about them. I actually have 2 here. One welcoming Kim Vitani back because she's assisting Steve, and one for Steve because I'm going through and I'm finishing everybody's awards for the years and writing them a personal note. But yeah, I got my cards right here. With,
Note cards are huge. I mean,
I know
they're huge, and I just went to Vistaprint and had a bunch made myself, so I can. It's on my list of things to do.
Yeah.
And then, so the words of wisdom is one of them I always love. And it's like, no matter how you feel, get up, get dressed, show up, and never give up.
Which is really like the cool thing about people getting back to work in an office.
That whole dress up. Yes.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I have to say, half of the ladies that were at this, funeral with me were like, well, now that I'm dressed, I have to stop at my office on the way back home because at least I'm dressed and the makeup's done. Whatever works.
I think I do the makeup thing and my hair only because I'm on
because you're on
video all day long. I probably have pajama pants, so don't make me get up. But,
right. Oh goodness.
But it's been great. But so glad we're back. We have a lot of great things that we have planning, and we're going to start working on our business planning, which will be in October.
Oh my gosh, can you believe it is July? No, it is not July. It is June 7th. Well, I saw 6-7 and I'm like, wait, is it June or is it July? June. It is June the 7th. June the 7th.
It's halfway through. So make sure you are going through your business planning. It's that halfway point checkup. What are you doing? What can you be doing? What should you be doing? What haven't you done? All of that fun stuff. Maybe we should add that to the list. But I do know it's about that time to start working on the
2022.
Yeah, that seems crazy. Yeah. So we have a lot of great stuff coming up. And until then, wake up, kick ass, and repeat. Bye, everyone.